One of my guests today had a close encounter with a real UFO. Yes, it was real. Want to know the rest of the story? Stay tuned.
He's a Florida witch with something to say. Your friendly old sage with a teddy bear face. The Alexian Show. The magic's on its way. He's all set to play, so let's not delay. Welcome to Alexian Show.
Merry meet, everyone. My name is Alexian, and joining me, as always, is my lovely co-host, Draken.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Trying to stay in the house as much as possible with our 10 inches of snow here.
Oh, my goodness. And it's so cold, it's not going to melt anytime soon.
Nope. But we didn't get ice, and, that's a blessing.
Well, it's been a while since I've been up north in snow, but if memory serves, when that snow starts to melt and then night comes and it refreezes, that's ice.
Yeah. But for as long as it stays this cold, it's just nice, fluffy snow.
That's true. That's true. It's actually going to get down to the 20s, sub-freezing here in Orlando tomorrow night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. We are freaking out. All of my orchids that are on my porch are all bundled up like little babushkas, and there's heaters going everywhere. And it's been a nightmare trying to cold protect everything. Victor's been running around in the yard putting blankets on plants and putting heating lamps underneath the blankets, and he's really worried about his baby guava tree he planted in his apple tree. They don't take the cold so well. But hey, show 24.
That's 2 solid years.
2 freaking years we've been doing this. Isn't this crazy?
I know, it doesn't feel like it at all.
It's really went by quickly. It really has. Is there anything new with you before we go forward? Besides staying warm?
Honestly, not really. I've got some girls coming over tomorrow night. We're gonna do a little Imbolc ritual and hang out. Yeah. But outside of that, everything's just pretty what's the word where everything stays the same?
No news is good news.
Yes. I'll take it.
Yeah, our coven is meeting up tomorrow night as well to celebrate Imbolc, the height of winter. And it's going to be really lovely. We have, of course, a full group here and somebody brand new that just joined as a guest. So it's going to be a nice evening. As far as with me and what's new.
Oh, I said there's just going to be 3 of us as far as I know.
That's wonderful.
Be nice and quiet, calm. Yeah.
You can even celebrate by yourself. You don't have to be with other people, those that are solitary, But the main thing is that you observe the seasons and acknowledge what's happening in your own life and how it relates to those seasons and sabbats. But as far as what's going on in my life, I'm just doubling down on music and working on a couple of singles that are going to come out soon. Here's a hint. I'm working on a song that will be released for Earth Day.
Yeah.
So, and it's coming along nicely. I think I'm going to finish recording it this weekend. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You have a prior song that's pretty much an Earth Day song. So
I have, that you're talking about Save Me from my original album. Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
This song, I actually wrote a long time ago. It's called Scream, and it is about the destruction of the planet Earth, the destruction of the mother by humankind. But it's not as pretty as Save Me. It's a little more well, it's called Scream, so you get the idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you'll see Earth Day is when it drops.
Yes. I can't
So
wait.
if you're interested and you want to know more about that, go to alexianmusic.com if you're new to watching our show, and click that square in the upper right corner. It says Get Per. Per is the name of my email list. My matron goddess is boss, so everything around me is cat oriented, feline oriented. So that's why it's called Per. So if you do that, you'll stay in touch and you'll get notified when that song drops. Hey, if you are new to watching our show and you don't have time to watch live right now, try to work us into your life by listening to our show, just the audio while you drive or while you're cooking or even while you're taking a shower. It's a great way to fit us into your day. So, Draken, I have analytics as usual.
Yeah.
So last show, we crossed 25,000 subscribers on YouTube. As of last night, we have gained another 4,200 plus subscribers, bringing the total now to over 29,200 plus subscribers.
That is amazing.
I know.
Like,
and I never know how it's gonna like land, you know?
Yeah.
But the statistics, the analytics are saying the most viewers this time came from India. Isn't that crazy? So,
I mean,
hello,
yeah,
India. Thank you for watching. The
Welcome.
USA, of course, came in number 2, and pulling up the last spot there, number 3, was Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I don't know why India clicked, but the last show was me. I was the special guest. It was all about me. But India vibed with it, I guess. And yeah, there we go.
I love it. I love it.
Whoever you are and wherever you are, we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for supporting our show. And for those that are watching right now, let us know where you're tuning in from. Drop it in the YouTube comments down below. Draken is going to be covering the comments as well. And if you've tuned in late, I have to tell you, you need to hit that little live button near the volume slider on YouTube to stay in real time in order to win the prizes. You want to be live in order to draw, enter for the drawing at the end of the show. And if you did catch the show late, you can always watch the beginning later. So, yeah. And before I forget, something else I need to bring up is I must take a moment to congratulate Sandra, who won last month's Arcane Treasures giveaway. Yeah. She won a free Kitten Circle membership to my Cool Cats Online Pagan community, a $25 coupon for the shopping cart at paganmusic.com, as well as a limited edition Alexian Show magnet. Now, it's all about that show magnet.
I know.
That's why everybody's spinning in, is to get one of these, right?
Well, yeah. Why would you not? Yeah.
Anywho, congrats, Sandra. Enjoy your treasures. Yes. And if you are watching live right now, stay tuned because we have another live giveaway coming right up. So what's the chat looking like right now?
Well, I don't know if you saw, I put it on there earlier. Brian Henke is with us, and he said it's 7 degrees in Ohio, where he is right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
With Brian Henke. Hey, Brian. How you doing, man?
Hi, Brian.
Yeah, Brian had actually emailed me earlier and shared the fact that our guests today performed on one of his songs called Witch in the Woods. Yeah, he sent me a copy of it so I could listen to it. It's a beautiful song. Absolutely beautiful song. He told me
that is awesome. We'll have to go find it.
Yeah, he told me he'd be tuning in.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right.
And of course we have Sandra, my sister. She's here with us. Yay.
She's back.
But
So if you like the show, it would totally mean the world to me if you would like it and subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about, future shows. And while you're at it, be a helper and tell a friend, like-minded friends like to flock together. It would be cool to have you and your friends in the chat room rolling for the prize together.
yeah.
And last but not least, remember, this is an interactive show, so type your questions into the YouTube chat below and we'll get them answered a little later, okay? Draken, again, is going to be covering the comment section, so she'll be on top of it. All right, let's bring on our guests.
All right.
It's time for Enchanted Verse.
Up, do up, bibbidi do up.
Spiral dance is one of the most beloved and influential pagan folk bands to emerge from Australia. Led by the songwriter and vocalist Adrienne Piggott, with the musical artistry of Paul Gooding and the rest of the band. Their music weaves mythology, land, devotion, and living pagan practices into powerful songs that resonate across hemispheres. For decades, spiral dance has inspired pagans around the world with music rooted in place, tradition, and heart. Everyone, please welcome my friends, Adrienne Piggott and Paul Gooding of Spiral Dance.
Hello.
Hey, Alexian. Great to see you.
Introduction. Thank you, Alexian. That was lovely.
You're welcome. We worked it out, even from across the time zones.
Yeah. It's kind of weird sitting here in Australia talking to Florida live.
It is.
Better and that stuff,
You're talking to yesterday, and you're in the future.
No,
Yeah.
we're a bit older than
Time travel is real, Alexian.
It's time travel, man. It's Friday at 8 p.m. here. What time is it there?
It's 20 to 12, nearly lunchtime here
On the Saturday.
on Saturday.
On the next day on Saturday. I have a question about that before we go any further. Does either one of you know why it's, because here in the US, it's like, 8 p.m. here, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m., California West Coast time. Why is there a time zone in Australia that doesn't, it's like the half hour?
Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy, I think, about that in Australia. We obviously it's to do with the sunrise and fall and being in the best time zone for the sun, right? And so we're not quite far enough across to be on that sort of central time zone. So Adelaide has this strange half an hour, and we're in Adelaide. So the East Coast, where some of the major cities are, Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane, they have their time zone, and then we have this half-hour shift, which they have talked about changing politically a few times. But I think from the farmers' point of views and things like that, they want to keep that half-an-hour time zone. But I think for business and things, that it can be quite annoying for Teams meetings and things because people get the time wrong.
I find it fascinating, because we don't have anything like that here in the US. And I had never heard of it before until we started trying to work out the time difference so that we could do this. And I'm like, half hour.
I think it's even more complicated than this, and I don't want to waste too much time on this, but I think Australia has more time zones in the country than anywhere else, because on top of all the time zone changes due to the longitude, you've also got daylight saving, or summertime and winter time. So there's an hour shift. But only some time zones do that hour shift. So sometimes Brisbane is on the same time as Sydney and Melbourne, but Sydney and Melbourne do their summertime change, but Brisbane don't. So it changes an hour for 6 months of the year and then comes back square again. And of course, because of our half-hour difference to Brisbane, sometimes we're half an hour ahead and sometimes we're half an hour behind. So it's completely mad. And I think even Microsoft Time has a problem with it. It can't keep up.
Brian, I see popped up a question there. Hi, Adrienne and Paul. This is actually the closest we've ever had to actually meeting in person.
I know, but again, by the joys of the internet, we can share music and even be on the same tracks together.
It is amazing the times that we live in.
I just want to jump in and say, Brian, I have seen your message. There's some music you sent me to listen to, and I will do that. I haven't forgotten.
All right, so let's jump into the music. I remember when we first contacted you guys in the late 90s to carry your CDs in our online store, paganmusic.com. In prepping for this show, I had a lot of fun actually going back through all my old emails and finding order after order after order for your music in our store, and interspersed within there were emails from your fans freaking out that we actually had your CDs in stock in the USA, and they were so excited to buy it and get your music, right? And you got to remember, this was before MP3s, little alone streaming, right? Yeah. So it was like a nostalgia, review of our relationship. I even found emails about one of the several concerts that we hosted for you. One of them called Swapping Sabbaths back in 2008.
That was one of our tours, 2008, correct. And I'm just going to say, hi, Victor. Just saw your message there, and Sandra as well. Hello. Great to see you guys. That was our 2008 tour through the US.
And I think that was such exciting times for us because we were in Australia, and we had no idea that people knew our music. And I think between you and I think there was Serpentine Music and Serpentine Music, which is, I think she was on the other side of the country. Between both of you, you got our music out there, which was just amazing. So when we came, when was our first time over?
2003 was our first.
2003 was our first tour, and we'll talk a bit more about the festivals then. But I remember playing at the CMA, our first festival we ever played at in Texas, and going on stage and having no idea. And there was a sea of people in front of the stage, and they were singing along with us. And I just lost it. I couldn't believe it. I just thought, it was just
a magical time.
It was just such a special. That's an incredible memory for us. Yeah.
Music.
So thank you for being part of helping that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was our pleasure. I mean, Victor and I were buying every piece of music we could get our hands on back then, and we were like kids in a candy shop. We were enjoying it just as much as our customers were, and it was quite the ride. But then, of course, the MP3 came, and everything started shifting away from CDs, so we actually still have the store, paganmusic.com, but we have things that are now out of print still in stock, and people are freaking out because they'll go through the store and find this and go, oh my God, my copy got destroyed or wore out, and you have it and it's brand new, and they're like buying it like, it's antique or something, but it's true. We've had these CDs in stock, and even some cassette tapes, believe it or not, that are still in stock. And people are like purchasing the cassette tapes. And I always email them, and I'm like, you realize this is a cassette tape? And they're like, yes, please send it. So people are into collecting.
It's a bit of a thing actually. In aside from the pagan music, obviously we're sort of folk rock band, but we like a lot of folk music. I certainly do, and people are slowly beginning to digitize some of their old cassette tapes and things and making them available, and
wonderful.
Be able to hear some of those artists that have now departed and are certainly not performing. It's great to be able to hear sort of live concert shows from back in the 70s, 80s, whatever, that when they were
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You got to keep the music alive. Woo!
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard that. All right. Is it fair to say that you two have been the continuous thread throughout the life of the band?
Well, probably, but I mean,
I was a late starter,
Yeah.
but
Spiral Dance began in 19. That's gorgeous photo. No glasses. I'm so young. We started in 1992, and over the years, a lot of the people have come and gone, apart from myself. But interesting. And then Paul joined us in
2000, 99, 2000, around there.
Paul joined us. Yeah. However, from the early days before Paul was with us, we had another singer, Bronwyn Lloyd, who sang on the first album. She was with us for 2 years, I think. Then after her, Nicola Barnes, who came in and she sang on the Magick CD. They're back singing with us now after 32 odd years or whatever it is.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so we are the mainstay now. We farewelled our long-term guitarist the year before last. Nick moved on. So people come and go. We've had lots of drummers. We've had lots of bass players, lots of fiddle players. And it's interesting. I sometimes think, and it's not always easy, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they're good partings, sometimes they're not so good partings, which happens in music, as you know.
It's one of the reasons I'm a solo artist.
Indeed.
We've had the same conversation with Dad the Bard in the UK, and you know, he's played in bands and now as a solo artist, and it's again for those sort of reasons that, you know, that it avoids a lot of those stresses and heartaches.
But I think we change every now and then. Like, we have new blood comes in, and we move a little bit. The music style changes just a little bit. So I think that's the thing for the longevity of Spiral Dance. And for me, like, you know, I joke and say I was 20 when I started the band. I'll be 65 this year. And I still want to keep rocking and rolling. I've still got a lot of music left in me, you know. So it's been quite a ride, I have to say.
There's actually there's another part of that tale which is, I guess, even a little bit more extraordinary. And one of the original members of the band was the original bass player. Yeah, he played bass on the first couple of albums, and then moved over to drums when we were short drummers because we could find a bass player, and he played drums. He toured in the US with us, and then he moved away to Melbourne, and he's actually transgendered to Rena, and she is now our guitarist. So it's an extremely circular world.
Bass to drum to guitar.
Yeah. Life changed for her, and it's just beautiful having her back. So we've got three of the original members back in the band, which is kind of interesting, that journey. You know, the goddess puts you on paths, doesn't she? It's
yes, like, indeed.
Now, and do you know, over the years, it's been interesting, Alexian, when we've had changes in the band, and there's been times it's been quite difficult, and I've actually thought, you know what, it's probably time to call it a day. And you know what, it's like, bitch, you're going to keep playing. Yep. And you know what I mean? It's like
the universe won't.
The universe is going, nah, you're not going to stop yet. So
the muses bitch slap you and say, I don't think so.
Indeed, yeah.
And they give you a new song, right? I mean, yeah.
So here we are, talking to you after, and coming to the States a few times and spending time with you and Victor has been amazing. It's been lovely. So yeah, we're very blessed.
Well, we love you guys, and anytime you want to come back, you got a home. You got a home. You got free bed and board right here.
We will do eventually. Not yet, but eventually.
I hope you still got your very rude light switches, Alexian.
Absolutely. And they're still standing at attention.
They're 1-inch light switches with 2-inch penises. But anyway.
It's true. We have two. One of them is in the temple room. That one glows in the dark. And,
of course.
You know, and then there's one in the bedroom, of course. Yeah, but yes, those are still on the light switches. You know who gave us those?
No.
Suzanne from Dryad Design, who her husband is a sculptor and a painter and artist, and they've made I don't know how many tens of thousands of copies of the sculptures are everywhere in the world. And we have many of them in our house and in the temple room. But we were at a convention And she ran up to us and said, Victor, Alexian, I have something for you. And only you. Nobody's getting this except you guys. And I'm like, what is it? And she handed us these little penises that slip onto your light switch. So that's what Paul's talking about.
Yeah, and
I'm amazed that you remember that.
How do you forget? I believe I slept in the room with the glowing light switch. So yes, that kept me awake for sure.
You were in the temple room.
Oh, yes. Oh, you lucky man.
But the great thing is that, you know, in the UK where I originated, and in Australia too, our switches go down to switch on, so it doesn't really work so well. In America, of course, it goes up to turn it on, and that works so much better with that. So, yeah.
So you have to just start installing them upside down.
Exactly right. Yeah, swap the wire.
So, of course, your 1996 album, Woman of Earth, was one of the first CDs that we actually stocked at paganmusic.com. And I have to say, The Goddess and the Weaver, I love that song. I can't get enough of it. And in fact, when we would go to pagan gatherings, I would actually play it really loud in our booth, and it would attract customers. And not only would we sell out of your CD, but they would buy other stuff too, right? So you were helping us with our sales with your songs. I can hear Victor in the other room laughing because he knows it's true.
We've been, as we said, through a lot of lineup changes and things, but that's a song that we still very regularly play live. It's still it's a mainstay on our set list.
And one of the interesting things is when YouTube first happened many moons ago, Bernard Keep music. I can't remember. And it had hundreds of thousands of hits. It's just been amazing. And the comments went on for years and years and years and years. And we didn't know. We were alerted to it like about 5 years after it all happened. And we're going, seriously? Like, that was quite amazing. So that song, for some reason, speaks to people. And it's funny, I don't know, you probably get this too, Alexian, when you write a song. When I wrote that song, I was actually doing my anatomy and physiology study for my exam that day. And I got up I used to study early in the morning rather than in the evenings. And that song just fell onto the page. It just went boom. So it was probably the first originals we started doing, apart from Woman of the Earth was first. And I think Man of the Stars and Goddess and the Weaver came in. So, yeah, and we still do it. We get asked for it all the time, and it hasn't changed. It's still the same. 1996, that's bizarre, isn't it? Gosh.
It is. It is. It's an incredible song. It's one of those ones that are divinely inspired, Like you said, it fell onto the page, right?
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know, I can probably share a little secret, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So, the Woman of the Earth album was the first. I'm not on it, by the way. It was before my time, but it's not available anymore. But like you, I think this is the 24th show, so it's an anniversary for you. Congratulations!
Thank you.
It's our 30th anniversary of the CD coming up, and so we're thinking of actually doing an upload of that album. And maybe giving it a little bit of an offer for a short period, maybe where it's a free download or something. As a gift.
We want to give back to the community, so they'll be able to download the whole album from around about September. I think we launched it in Adelaide in September 1996. We launched it. So.
Oh my goodness, that's so awesome. And that leads right into my next question. So I've got a question specifically for Adrienne. And I don't want an easy answer, as in the music. How would you define Spiral Dance's contribution to the world?
So for me, we were one of the very first pagan bands around, along with, I believe, Incubus, Succubus, and Wendy. I think Wendy Rule. We started in 1992, and I think our music I know you didn't want me to say music, but I do believe that it brought community together. The band has brought community together wherever we've played. And for me, I feel like I have I have a duty to give back to community, and that's what it's about. So whenever I write a song, they might be my songs when I write them, but they're not. They go out to the community and they're not mine anymore. And I'm more than happy for people to play them or do whatever. But I think it's brought a lot of people together all over the world with our music. It's been quite a journey doing that, and an honour for us as well. Is that what you wanted? Is that kind of what you meant?
I know it's
beautiful.
I know it's like this question, Alexian, but I think true. You know, the band wouldn't have been going without Adrienne's energy and obviously her songwriting. But I think Spiral Dance has acted as a catalyst for a lot of other things in Australia and perhaps further afield too. And so I think that's what I like the band to be thought of as a catalyst to help those reactions occur.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So this question is for you, Paul. Has anyone told you that you have a striking resemblance to the U.S. actor Clark Gregg, who is, of course, Phil Coulson in the Marvel film and TV productions of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, I have to say that, yeah, thank you.
He's much better looking than you.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
I mean, come on.
we do play the doppelganger game occasionally, and I have to say that one's not come up, but I'm not unhappy about that.
I mean, I think I've found you out personally.
Yeah.
I think you actually are Clark, and you're just hiding in Australia, right?
My American cousin. Yeah.
Okay, your serious question. So, besides being a famous American actor, what is it like being a pagan musician in Australia?
Oh, I mean, it's been an extraordinary journey, really. And I suppose that moving to Australia opened so many doors and certainly opened my eyes more spiritually than I could have believed. I fell on my feet really meeting the band here, and I'm sure I would just be playing accordion in little folk clubs and for folk dance and things if I hadn't met Spiral Dance. So it's opened up a whole world for me, and you know, those offerings of tunes and things that go into the songs to and when I see people dancing and stuff, it warms my heart and rocks my soul. So it's a wonderful thing. Music is a wonderful thing, as you know. It's and to me it's the ultimate freedom. There's a lot of hard work that goes into the writing and the rehearsing, but that hour that you're on stage for me is total freedom. Nothing can touch, and there's a connection with your fellow musicians that I've never experienced in any other walk of life. So it's a magical time on stage where everything else clears and there is nothing but the moment.
You have the it.
Yeah, the it. Yeah. It's you're in the moment.
My observation is you are like the heart of the band. You're so spiritually and from your heart engaged in the music. I mean, even the pictures, half of the pictures that are of you, you have your eyes closed and you're just like, you know,
I'm not really there.
Yeah, you're in your heart.
I am. When I first started playing, I guess it was a little bit early for mobile phones to have cameras and things, but they were coming, and it took a little while to suddenly see some video of ourselves, and I couldn't believe that I'd move and just float away, disappear, and I couldn't actually try to play like that and think about it. It's completely in the zone stuff, and I think I am in a different sort of plane somehow when I'm playing, because it's that freedom.
Adrienne is the mind, you know, she's the one that writes a lot of the lyrics, and she's the leader, and she's the one that's, you know,
front and center, but you're the heart, right? And you guys work so well together. That's the point, balance of heart and mind, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Lovely.
right, so this is for both of you, and it's based on the observation of the differences between paganism in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So let's start with how seasons and land shape your spiritual practices. What's the differences, you know?
Oh wow, you've opened a can of worms now, Alexian.
I know.
This is something that
one or two examples.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's interesting because when I first got into paganism in the early 80s, actually, there was no internet. You just relied on a few books, and we started doing things like Northern Hemisphere stuff, and it took a while to sink in. Going, we're in this huge land, and you know, when you guys are celebrating, you know, winter solstice, we're having summer solstice, Samhain, Beltane.
Different energies.
Much different energies. And also too, where you live in Australia is really important, because where we live, it's very, very European where we live, and we probably have about 6 seasons here. Like, we go through this very long, hot, dying, dry, dead summer now, where there's places freezing in Europe. So there's a parallel there. But what will happen in March, we'll get lots of rains. Our first spring rains will come in, and everything will come to life again. So we'll get another spring. Then we go into winter. So it's that thing of when it's rich with our rituals, we tend to work around what's happening seasonally. Like in spring, we have a thing called frog song, when the frogs start singing. So we might gather together and have a feast and celebrate frog song, just do a little gentle ritual. So rather than having those 8, and we do use those 8, around the circle, the seasonal change of the year, but we also have other stuff coming in as well. So, and it's a bit different for, obviously you have your solar times and that are set in, but then, you know, Samhain here is in our May, but we've had this like burst of spring has come in, you know, so it's kind of interesting. And the one thing I struggle with now more than anything is, because of the internet and social media, we get inundated with everything that's happening in the Northern Hemisphere, which is beautiful. But it makes me really sad, because I'm seeing, like, there was last week, it was Wassail, you know, and I was thinking, I want to be there for Wassail. Wassail here is in July. Our 12 night is at the end of June, early July, you know, and it's like, you know, the Murray Lloyd is going out over there. We don't do that till it's winter time. So that can be a little bit difficult for us. The one thing I will say I can't deal with is what's happening is Halloween has crept into Australia on a commercial level. So everyone in November is doing Halloween. It's spring, you know, it's like, it's bonkers. And everyone's, you know, and the worst thing, there's all this plastic tap that comes, and I'll get off my high horse and let Paul talk, but there's all this plastic tap that comes into the shops, right? And there's this stuff called spider web. You know, this spider web that you spread. What happens? It's spring. There's baby birds. The baby birds are fledging. They fly into it. So it's for me, it's just that messes with my head. But ritual-wise, yeah. And funny enough, there are still groups here in Australia that will follow the Northern Hemisphere. I don't really get how that works, because for me, ritual it's the land. You know, you need to connect with your land. What's happening in the land outside. You know, I look out and I can see my gods and goddesses all around me, you know, and the trees tell me what is going on. So that's how I work with it. Sorry, Paul.
Not at all. No.
On my rant, my tirade.
You were talking about head and heart. I think that just flipped over there, didn't it? But there was a lot of heart in that. But I think what Adrienne's saying is very true. I think there's this the difference between calendar custom time and seasonal custom, and we have to realize, being in the Southern Hemisphere, that we're flipped, and people didn't do that. You know, when they came over, they weren't pagan particularly, but you know, they took calendar times like Christmas and Easter and all of those things. You know, Easter, Ostara, estrogen, right? And we're in autumn. Our autumn. It's wrong, and nature tells you it's wrong, and the plants here tell you what's going on, but they have evolved to the conditions here. So as Adrienne said, they tend to have almost a die-off in midsummer when it's roasting hot, and they have to shut their leaves down for water to save water. So they have almost a die-off in summer, and then a reprieve in the autumn, and then another die off in winter when the temperatures drop, and then a rebirth again in the spring. So and I think that wheel of the year will change over a very short distance in Australia. You change 100 miles or something, 100 kilometers or whatever, and the wheel of the seasonal wheel would change if you kept your own diary. And people do that here now. They're becoming very attuned to their local environment, and making notes about when the flowers come out that year, when the first rain comes, all of those things.
And also, people are now starting to connect with the first people of this land. We didn't do that for a very, very long time, which was very bad. But it's now we kind of, and wherever the Indigenous are, all over this huge place, they too have their cycles of the year. They call things, they have their way, Kookaburra time, or the cycle I call spring frog song, because the frogs are waking up. So yes, I think it's a matter of tapping into your land. And the thing that struck me was I had a friend come from the UK. I'm with OBOD, studying Georgia with OBOD, and so is she. And she said, we have it so easy over there because everything's written to the Northern Hemisphere. Here we have to really think about it, but that's also beautiful. It makes me go outside and look what's happening in my square patch, my square mile around my home. I live opposite a big bushland. I'm very lucky where I live in the Adelaide Hills, surrounded by bushland, and I'm always out there seeing what's happening, and that's good, because I think a lot of people don't. They just stay inside, read books, and they don't actually go out and feel the land. And I always say, when people say to me, how do I get into paganism? How do I get in? I say, go outside and listen to the land. Go outside and feel the mother around you, and you'll be called onto the path.
That happens here too. There's a lot of book learned witches, and they've never went out. You know what I'm saying? They don't connect with the earth.
I mean, we were just listening, obviously, to your introduction, and just talking to Draken. She's 10 inches of snow, and I'm sure that's not true in Florida right now. So again, you have your own cycles and your own.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I've had to adjust when I moved down here. Absolutely. And there are things that are up north that I miss. I miss the colors of the trees in the fall, and I miss the lilac blooms in the spring. I don't get either one of those things, and I grew up with that in Missouri. So yeah, you learn to adjust, but there's other things that happen here too that don't happen up there. So like you said, you just have to connect, right? Absolutely. So we've kind of talked about a little bit about local energies, but let's get more specific. What about local deities and land spirits and regional energies?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I quite often pose the question, do the gods travel? So I grew up in an Irish Catholic family, and Bridget was always there, and Bridget's my confirmation name. And I connect with her on a heart level, especially in the spring when the wattle blooms here. But I really believe that gods and goddesses are in the land that you're at. That's my how I feel. If I go to the UK, I feel very much at home at the UK. It's my ancestral home. I'm first generation Australian. My father was Irish and my mother was English. They came to Australia very early. So when I go to the UK, I go to places and I can just feel it there. It's just like, there's like, that names there, like, in Wales, Ceridwen, and in parts of England, the Anglo-Saxon gods and goddesses, and, in Ireland, the Celtic gods, they're there. They're in the land. They're in the land. They're there. But here, this land is so old, and the first people of this, there's 60,000 years, the Indigenous people have been in this country. Yeah, and they've got their own ancestor spirits, their own dreamtime spirits and stories of the land. They're not mine, because I'm first generation Australian. I'm like this when that's like that. So for me, I tend to, and hence writing the song Goddess of the Southern Land, I'm still searching for them here in this country. I walk outside and I know my gods and goddesses are out there. I know. I don't know if they travel. I don't know if they're the ones that are in my ancestral, in my blood. I don't know if they're in the mud here. They're in my blood. So it's an interesting journey, Alexian, with that. So I don't actually call on any particular gods and goddesses. I don't work with any particular name here in this land. Bridget's with me all the time. She's been with me since I was a little girl, going to mass every Sunday. She's there. I know and the thing I love about Bridget is, like, you know, there was that Catholic thing that I came across, and she's still there, you know, and she's the goddess of music and poetry and healing, the fire. And, you know, and there's fire here in this land, and there's fire within me with my creativity. So Bridget's here. But I don't know about the rest. I don't know. It's a question I ask myself all the time. Hence my song, Goddess of the Southern Land, I'm yet to know your name. It's a journey.
And Adrienne's going to recite that in lyrical recitation for us here in just a minute. We're going to hear that song, the words to that song. Yeah, we went to Ireland, and I absolutely adore Ireland. And we were very lucky to visit Breed's Well, and we brought back some water from the well. And every Imbolc, which for us will be tomorrow night, we're celebrating, I put 3 drops of that well water into our bowl of salt water to bless the circle at Imbolc specifically.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting journey when you're away from your ancestral home. And I think that's why Goddess of the Southern Land has spoken to so many people, not just here in Australia, but overseas as well, because so many people are first, second and third generation in a new land, and their ancestors are back in Ireland or England or Scotland or Wales, and they all have that connection there. But it's wanting to connect, but it's not so easy when you're a long way away. So yeah. Would you say that, Paul? Yeah.
I agree, and I think, from looking in on what you were saying, I think something changed for you, though, more so when your parents passed. You suddenly said, I feel more that I belong. I have ancestors in the ground.
I've got ancestors in the land now.
And so I think that was a change for you. Now I don't have that yet, and so I'm the first here, so I'll probably be the first in the ground out of my family here. But it is an interesting connection. I've had more of those heavy connection experiences since being on this pagan path, going back to the UK. I was in Glastonbury when we were with the Bard, funnily enough, and he said, "Oh, you must have been to Glastonbury before," and it sounds very windswept and interesting, and it was absolutely an off-the-cuff comment, but I'm so pleased I said it, because I said to him, I said, "Yes, I have, but not with my eyes open," was what I said, and I still remember saying that, and he's reminded me of it too. But I've had more experiences since going back to the UK than I have on those sort of close personal levels, I guess, from a day-to-day in Australia. So I think there is that connection to ancestry there. I actually talk a little bit my professional life outside of music. I'm a musician by night. I'm a scientist, biologist by day. And there's a lot of research now about imprinting and things in the genome. And I'm beginning to talk a little bit to people about whether there are ancestral memories and that they are imprinted perhaps in us. And there is actually some research beginning to come out where it points towards, that imprinting being a real thing that guides us and gives us perhaps a competitive advantage in some situations. And so it's interesting, and it's very early days, but yeah, it's an interesting topic.
That is interesting.
Yeah, and feeling like I belong in a country too. The thing for me for many years, and for many people, is because you're first generation and the Indigenous have been here for so long. Sometimes I was feeling I was stepping on somebody else's land. I didn't belong here, and that was something I struggled with right till my probably mid-40s. I struggled, like I'd grown up surrounded by stories and songs and tales from my parents, from my ancestral lands, but there was nothing here. There was nothing here for me. There was nothing I could connect to. But of course, I realised that my body is made up, my DNA is made up from the minerals in the soil. I've drunk the water that's come here. I've eaten the plants that have grown on the land here. So Australia is in my bones. It's formed my bones. It's formed me. So that's been a very interesting part of the journey as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
I just thought of that then. So yeah.
It's beautiful, actually, when you think about it.
We're all
Okay.
from Stardust, Alexian.
I'm sorry?
We're all part of the Stardust, aren't we? That's where we're all.
Absolutely. We're all leftovers from solar explosion.
Yep.
Let's have a little fun. What's the most humorous or outlandish fan comment that you've ever received?
You can go first.
We have amazing interactions with fans and have done, and some of it is quite serious and had some extraordinary conversations with people. But I think one, and I've had a few of these in various kind of guises, but the one I guess I'll quote is, and you'll see that I get a little bit, is people come up and say something along the lines of, I hate accordion, but I like yours, which is like, I'm never quite sure what to say to that. But I agree, accordion is not a sound that suits everybody. People have different experiences with it, depends where they've heard it. It's very common in music. It's in adverts and all sorts of things, and it's there subliminally. But yeah, maybe just accordion on its own being played as a sort of, as an sort of Germanic kind of polka or something. People go, oh, that's not nice. But and maybe that's fine. But it's really weird that people start the conversation and say, I don't like accordion. And it's like, oh, thanks very much. No, but I like yours. Well, thanks very much. So I guess that's a weird one. But we've had extraordinary conversations. But that's kind of the weird left field one, I suppose, that I get. So yeah.
I've got two actually. One person asked me, was my hair real? Or was it extensions?
It's real, I tell you, it's real.
But the other thing was I was speaking to someone a couple of years ago now, and they said to me, oh, Adrienne, we've been following spiral dance since the mid-90s, and you really haven't changed at all. I think you sleep in a crypt and drink baby's blood.
Okay.
That's also real.
I sleep in, and the hair is real.
Vampire Clark Gregg. Okay. What about pagan festivals? Have you had any funny experiences? Oh, I think we got one.
Nothing but funny experiences, really.
Lexi, we could do a whole show out of it. We could do a whole show. But can I start with the first one?
Off you go.
So the very first time we went to America was 2003. Yeah. And it was before any social media, and there was, I think the internet we were just kind of getting into internet. And we got contacted by a festival in Texas saying, would you come over? And we were like, okay, let's do this thing. So they put in for a work visa for us, which was probably a really silly thing to do because, we didn't really earn anything while we were there. However, so we went through all the channels and then we booked our flights, and we actually, 6 of us flew over with everything, a whole drum kit, everything we took with us.
Whoa.
And we arrived in Houston.
We actually flew to Dallas.
We flew to
Dallas and then into Houston.
And then we got a Greyhound bus down to Austin.
And I love Austin, by the way. Hi, anyone in Austin. I love your city.
We had a great time playing there.
Keep it weird.
Yeah.
Keep it weird.
Yeah. So we went off to this festival after we arrived there. We drove off to this festival in the middle of nowhere, in Siston, I think it was. And the organisers were beautiful. But bear in mind, Australia has a population of 27 million people. The USA has a population of 643 million people, right? That's the difference. So paganism here, we haven't got the numbers that you definitely have there. So we arrive at this festival with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, all naked. We'd never
Skyclad.
We'd never been to a festival like that before. We didn't have them. If people do Skyclad here in Australia, they do it in their own covens, and they're very private. People wear clothes at festivals here. Well, they might now, I don't know. So we drove into this festival, and the first thing we saw was a sign on the back going, "Friends don't let friends drive naked." We were thinking, what
That's right. What Dressed Bee was the other one.
Dressed Bee. And then we pulled into this, and they were going spiral dances here, and people were coming out of woods all over the place, and big arugas going up and cheering, and they're closed. And we were like, so we kind of had to get used to that.
It was a culture shock.
A culture shock for us.
But
it was lovely.
The weird thing is, though, Alexian, the analogy I'll use is, if there's like a background noise, a hum, you hear it for 10 minutes and it's really annoying, and then your brain actually just takes it out, and you only notice it when it stops, in fact.
Yeah.
And that's what happened at the festival, that we were driven around to be introduced to people, and there was just more fresh on show than normal, and it was just a little bit overwhelming, and people were all coming up for hugs, and it was like, oh. But then after a few minutes, it's like it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And,
exactly. Well, except for that one guy.
Well, yes, indeed. Yeah. So that was our introduction.
Or lady, in fact, as well.
That was our very first festival. So you might want to have another story to tell.
So
we have lots.
Yeah, I mean, some extraordinary things. I mean, Adrienne briefly mentioned at the beginning that at that festival, going on stage, and we had an amazing introduction by the guy who sort of managed to convince us to go over, Paul. And he gave an intro to us, and we went on stage, and then this audience started singing the words back to us, and we had no idea that we'd travelled, the continents, and that was amazing. We had another experience again, funnily enough, again in Texas at another festival in Texas. I mean, it was fairly awful in that we were going on stage, and there was a tornado that was brewing and coming up, and the weather got freakishly bad, and we had to cut our set short because like it was affecting the electrics on stage and things, and so we had to get off stage because we were worried guitar strings were going to be live and things. It was getting really bad, and so we finished the set, but because we'd only kind of done half our set, and the weather was so wild, and we hadn't grounded. I was wired, and we all went back into our RV, and I started cooking and drinking and cooking and then drinking and then drinking and then drinking and cooking and drinking and drinking and drinking, and so I had a bit of a wild night, and it ended up getting a bit raucous, didn't it? We played silly sort of strip poker games and did all sorts, and it was just a wild night for me. And at one point, Adrienne said, "Oh,
I had a beautiful frock. There were 6 of us piled in this tiny RV, right? We were all sharing beds and stuff. And I had my really pretty frock that I bought to wear for the gig, and we didn't wear it. And I had it hanging up in like the bedroom area. And I said to Paul, "Go and put my frock on.
Go and put something on.
Go put something on." I said, "Go put something on," because I thought he'd put my frock on. I said, "Go and put something on and come out and entertain us," because I thought he'd put my pretty frock on.
So I went into the room, and there was a frock hanging there, which was far too obvious, and there was also a belt on the bed. So I took everything off and just wore the belt, and walked out. And Adrienne just lost it, and I said, "Haven't you ever seen somebody wearing a belt before?" And so it was one of those silly nights. So that was an amazing experience. But I mean, we've had a lot of fun things and a lot of. I mean, I think we laugh constantly, and I mean, it's all in the moment things, so it doesn't.
Times.
But yeah, just and again, the band, we've always just had a great rapport. We get on really well, and we share similar humor, and we like similar things. We like eating the same things and all that sort of stuff. So we have a really good time. But I mean, on top of that, we've had some and I know it's going to be fun, but we've had some extraordinary experiences that are quite serious as well. We had a lady come up to us at a festival once and said, "Would you like to come over to our camp?" And people often want us to do that, and it's lovely, and Americans are so generous. You lay on food and drinks and stuff. It's amazing. But she said, please come to our camp, and I want you to meet my husband. And so we went over, and he was very quiet, and she sort of got the conversation going. And to cut a long story short, he'd had a very bad experience in the military in the Middle East, in Iraq. His platoon had got cut off in a town and were taking fire and casualties. And he crawled into a burnt out building under a floor and laid there expecting to be killed. And all he had was his iPod. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional about this now. And I often do talk about this.
It was his little
So he had an iPod and he laid in the floor and he listened to Spiral Dance until the battery went flat, and got up in the morning, and he was basically the only one left alive, and got back to his unit. That was pretty intense. And so, yeah. And you ask what Spiral Dance does. I mean, we don't get those sorts of things every day, don't get me wrong, but that's probably the most extreme example. But we do from time to time, a few times a year, get an email or contact where somebody said that, one of Adrienne's songs has been at a point in their life and it's changed their life and changed their path. And so for me, that's beyond magic. And so that, it's funny stuff, but there's real stuff.
Sure. I often say my purpose on this planet is a healer and a teacher, and I do that through my music and my craft. That's my modus operandi. Okay, shall we take a walk down memory lane?
Yeah.
Go on then.
1996, Woman of the Earth, I should say. 97, Over the Nine Waves.
Song cycle.
If you have any comments as I go, jump in.
Yeah, that's a song cycle. So it's the Irish stories, and with duration in between. So yeah.
Of the mythological cycle about Cuchulainn and all the women that surrounded him.
1999, Magick.
Yeah, wow.
Memories. 2002, Notes of Being.
I've actually still got some copies of that if anyone would like them. I've got physical copies. I've had so many run off.
But be careful, that's the first one with my accordion on. Okay.
I don't like accordion. Oh, that's funny. 2006, The Quickening.
So that the first 8 songs on that are part of the Wheel of the Year. So there's a song for each of the celebration days. So and then there's some other songs as well. But but that's The Quickening.
2007, Warts and All.
Yeah, live recorded over 2 or 3 shows and put together as a live album. Yeah.
And the first time we had fiddle in band, actually.
Yep.
Adrienne standing next to a tree.
I know.
Yeah. Spot the difference.
2012, From the Mist.
Yeah, best of. We just picked some songs we thought people would like and put it on there.
So yes, retrospective. Yeah.
And then Through a Sylvan Doorway.
A double album. Adrienne had been very, very productive. So we had we couldn't fit it all on one CD, so we had to make it a double, but which was cool. Very
the
cool.
Muses Were Screaming.
Yeah.
2014, Wicker Man.
Yeah, that was a single we released, which went on an album, a new version of that song went on an album further down the track.
2016, The Green Album.
Yeah, that was so lovely being asked to be part of that.
We were in America when when they called us, and Adrienne started writing on the car journeys. So we had the song almost written, and we came back and recorded it, and we're with all those wonderful artists, and see some of them are on the show there, and a shout out to the FPG guys. I saw Paul and Marie and people are on as well, and Brian Henke was mentioning that. So yeah, that was an honor to be on that album.
2017, Land and Legend.
Yeah, one of my favorite albums, and I love that album. I still love it. Yeah, that was a bit of a journey as well, and we had someone, a very dear, wise Druid friend of mine, we recorded, there's a song on the end called Mally, My Mother, and Y sadly passed not long after that. But one of her proudest moments was she got to speak on the album. She talked about the Mally and she sang on the beginning of it, which is beautiful. So Y's on there as well. So there's some beautiful memories in that album for me.
Wonderful.
And I love the picture at the front was taken by a friend, Brittany. That's his dog, and the standing stones. I can't remember where the stones are off the top of my head. Somewhere, I can't remember. But then on the back there's a reverse, and we had a lovely Indigenous artist, Sal Valley, did the ancestor gods, almost creating that in a way of the Australian thing on the back. So that's when I started probably writing a bit more from the Southern Hemisphere side of things, because I'd written so much from the Northern Hemisphere, legends and myths and things that really spoke to me. But I think Land and Legend was the first album I started putting my Australian feel into, I think.
And then we have 2025 13 notes.
Yeah, we're proud of that.
We're very proud of that, and
it's a long journey, that one. We got there.
Yes, but yeah, again, it ended up going over onto a double CD. So there's quite a lot of content. We hadn't recorded for quite some time either. So. Yeah, but it's interesting. You were talking about the CDs blending across, and we've been talking more. We're going to perhaps put this little digital release up for the 30th anniversary of Woman of the Earth, and we're probably moving forward now to perhaps, rather than wait until we've got 16 songs and do a double CD and it's a huge effort, it's perhaps to start doing songs, recording them and releasing those sort of, a bit like Wicker Man, we released as a CD single, but we'll release it as a digital single, and perhaps move on music that way, as it seems to be the modern way. I don't know that I fully agree with it, but I like hard copies of things. I like 12-inch,
We've
records.
Always wanted to do a record. We've always wanted to do an LP. And we just never done it. And
no. One day.
Yeah, I kind of switched to the whole single release thing too. It's the way, it's because of social media, because of the release schedule. If you can do it like one a month or one every 6 weeks or whatever, then it like boosts your algorithm. And here's Paul in a blue shirt.
There I am again with my eyes shut.
With your eyes shut, feeling the music.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't say what's at my bottom half, though, can you? Sorry.
So I have to ask, this photo was labeled choice.
Oh, I don't know. I just give things silly names when I save them.
So this is a little photo shoot we did a while ago now, and it's in a ruin of a fallen down church. It's
not far from here.
Yeah, it's in the hills, in the Adelaide Hills.
A place called Inverbrackie.
You can't get into it now because it's become so unsafe that they won't let you in. It's all bordered and fenced off. But it's an amazing little space, and so we took candles and some lighting in, and we did
covered in ivy. Like it's this old church room covered in ivy. I suspect the ivy's holding it together, actually.
Yeah, but nature has reclaimed the sacred space. Yes,
it's a beautiful space. I would love to do ritual there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would have been fantastic. Yeah.
And what's happening here? Are you recording something?
Yeah. That was taken. We were in Canberra, July 2024.
So this is part of the 13 Notes album recording.
Yeah, we went over to Canberra because a guy called David Pendragon, who's got Pendragon Studios, amazing ears. Like we call him Ears David. He's just amazing. And we went over there to record, do our parts on the album. So we flew over there. We had a week. It was about a week we were over there. It's freezing cold, and that's us in the studio. I can't even remember what we were doing, what song we were doing. But
his partner Nancy does a lot of photography and video work, so she was sort of working around our recording and taking pictures and things, and then gave them to. It was one again. You're in the zone. Almost didn't notice that she was there taking pictures and things, and then she sort of gave us these pictures at the end, and so they're very real. Yeah.
And then of course we have what I like to call the Spiral Dance logo.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we've had that for a number of years now. Paul created that.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, one of our grapho friends, Kim, sort of helped a lot with the initial development of that, and then we've had various silhouettes in. We've had the Standing Stones. We've had members of the band, and we can change that around depending what events we're playing at. So but it's certainly become our logo. I think our brand now. Yeah.
And I thought that we could have you guys introduce the band members.
Oh, okay. Well, there's me at the front, of course, and then Paul there. And next to me is Rena, our beautiful guitarist. Then behind Rena is Simon, our violin player. And then next to Simon is Matt, our drummer. So unfortunately, our bass player couldn't make it that day. And Nicole and Bronwyn weren't there either, unfortunately. So we're about to get some new photos done. But normally there's 8 of us, like we squash onto stage. We've kind of got larger as we've got older, haven't we?
But we can play in a number of formats.
Yeah, we can do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, really, if we want to.
Wow.
But I don't like. I love having the whole. I love the whole big sound spiral. For me, with big harmonies and the violin and the accordion and
full back line as well.
Yeah. That to me is my happy place. But it doesn't always work out that way, especially if we get asked to travel into states. Sometimes not everyone can make it, or we can't afford to take 8 of us. So
just as I mean, post that C word, COVID again, it always gets mentioned, doesn't it? But I mean, flying's just got a lot more expensive, a lot more difficult.
Oh yeah,
a lot more limited now on the amount of luggage you can take and carry and things. So it's really hurting musicians and really, and so it's a lot harder for us to travel as quite as easy as we used to. Yeah,
totally understand. Victor and I are going to Puerto Rico to visit his family next month, and we were kind of shocked at the price of the tickets because we ended up paying twice as much as what we're used to, but during the holidays they were 4 times as much as what we used to.
Wow,
which is ridiculous.
You could fly business class before for that price, and now it's
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I totally understand. I just had a memory pop into my head real quick, and then we're going to have you read one of your lyrics to us. I remember when you first came, the first concert, and we rented that little bar. Do you remember? And you guys performed on a little stage there. And was her name Karen, the flautist?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you invited me up on stage to sing with you guys. And I started singing, and all of you guys were like, you can sing. Like, I guess you were not expecting that. I remember your reaction.
And I remember because we'd driven all the way from Texas, hadn't we? We'd driven all the way. We came through Mississippi. We had some strange experience. That's enough for another talk. With strange experiences through Mississippi, then down through Florida, and we met you. And then we left via Georgia, I think. So we had that Atlanta, in that funny old RV, 6 of us stuck in that tin can, like it was.
Yeah, I bet there's some lovely photos from the end of that gig with the neon sign of the bar behind us on the stage and things. I think we've still got around somewhere.
That place was owned by one of my music students' fathers, and he was amazing, and ended up moving across to the big mall, and it got huge. But unfortunately, he passed away, and they closed it. But it was wonderful while it lasted. Well, you have prepared today for us 2 different songs. We're going to do one first.
Yeah.
I believe you're doing Land and Legends song.
I'm going to
Goddess of the Southern Land, right?
Yeah. And just before I read it out, I should know. I sing it and I'll know it, but the reading's kind of different. But I wrote this song. This was all part of my journey of understanding why I'm here and acknowledging the land I'm on here. And it's still my journey. So I guess this would speak to people that are new in any land, I guess. You know what I'm saying, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Take it away.
All right. Okay. The spirits of this place have whispered me a song with the north wind in the she oak trees when the summer days are long, with the greening of the hills when the winter rains have come. And I know they're telling me it's to this land that I belong. Black crow flies on silent wings across an endless blue. Magpie carols and boobook calls beneath the full spring moon. And the fairy wren and his followers are dancing with the fae. And Brother Kookaburra calls to the sky people to rise the sun each day. Goddess of the southern land, I'm yet to know your name. I've been travelling the pathways from where my ancestors came. But now I long to hear the songlines that are singing in your veins. Goddess of the southern land, I'm yet to know your name. Rainbow serpent mother, protector of the land, in the dreaming time awoke and moved her body across the sand. She brought the land to being, making hills and mountains rise, filling waterholes and rivers. She gave the earth its life. And the wild Mount Lofty ranges have given me my home, a place when the earth was young, a mighty giant roamed, and travelled across the landscape between the rivers and the plain. His body formed the mountain range in the place where he was slain. Goddess of the southern land, I'm yet to know your name. I've been travelling the pathways from where my ancestors came, but now I long to hear the songlines that are singing in your veins. Goddess of the southern land, I'm yet to know your name. I know Bridget's walking with me when the wildflowers have come and the wattle flowers into life, the colour of the sun. In the misty mountain bushland, the smell of eucalyptus after rain and bark fall signals that it's time to celebrate Beltane. The magic of your dream time and the story of your land, there's so much of your wildness that I'm yet to understand. And although I am a newcomer and my journey's just begun, your ancient voices told me that the land and I are one. Goddess of the southern land, I'm yet to know your name. I've been travelling the pathways from where my ancestors came, but now I long to hear the songlines that are singing in your veins. Goddess of the southern land, I'm yet to know your name.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, and very heartfelt. I felt that. I felt that. All right, for those that are watching, tonight's Arcane Treasures giveaway includes not one, but two Spiral Dance digital albums. You're going to receive a, if you win, you're going to receive a digital MP3 album of Land and Legend, as well as a digital MP3 album of 13 Notes. I believe that's your latest two albums, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So if you want to enter, this is what you got to do. Wake up. This is it. Type hashtag Champers into the YouTube chat. Yes, Adrienne, that was just for you. Hashtag Champers. For those that don't know, that's Australian for champagne. And Adrienne loves her champagne. We always make sure we have a bottle or two handy when she comes to visit. Yes. Hashtag Champers. That will get you into the drawing and possibly win the two albums from Spiral Dance.
Fabulous.
Okay. We will hear a second lyric reading by Adrienne from their album 13 Notes coming right up after this short sponsor break. So don't go away.
Are you ready to elevate your brand and connect with a dynamic and growing community? We invite pagan-minded businesses and services to sponsor our live YouTube show where your brand can shine. Visit alexianmusic.com/sponsor to explore this exciting opportunity. Imagine your logo taking center stage, just like our other esteemed sponsors. Join us in celebrating our shared passions and reach a dedicated audience. We can't wait to welcome you on board. Our sponsors for today's show are... Have you heard of paganmusic.com? It's a site run by Alexian and his husband Victor, who have been championing pagan music for over 30 years. They founded Earth Tone Studios in 1993 and took their support online in 1997 at paganmusic.com. They're now liquidating their stock, and some items have turned into rare collector's pieces. After the liquidation, they plan to evolve paganmusic.com into a resource hub, continuing their dedication to all pagan recording artists. Today, paganmusic.com is excited to donate a $25 cart checkout coupon for the Arcane Treasures giveaway at the end of the show. We hope it brings the winner some joyous pagan shopping. Today's show is also proudly sponsored by Alexian's official website as pagan recording artist, alexianmusic.com, where you can explore a world of pagan music and artistry. At alexianmusic.com, you'll discover a treasure trove of resources, including music recordings, online courses, as well as the Cool Cats community. Join him for bonfire bardic circles, magical spells, recipes, rituals, daily tarot videos, spiritual discussions, pentacle parties, songwriting classes, book swaps, meditations, and so much more. Be part of the fun and enrich your spiritual journey. Today, Alexian is offering a complimentary Rooted Kitten ongoing membership to the Coven of Cool Cats in the giveaway. This $4 per month membership grants you access to his vibrant and growing community. Alexian is also including a limited edition Alexian Show fridge magnet up for grabs during the Arcane Treasures giveaway at the end of the show. Don't miss your chance to snag this unique collectible and be part of the Alexian adventure. Our sponsors funded today's show, covering equipment, streaming software, and staff. Please support them as they support us. And now let's get back to the show.
And we're back. Thanks for staying with us. A quick reminder to all our viewers to type questions into the chat below. There will be a question and answer session coming up in just a bit, and we'll read your questions out loud and have our guests answer them. Are we ready for that second lyrical recitation?
I won't take up much time talking about it, but it's called 13 Notes, and it weaves two stories together. It weaves the story of the wren who became king of the birds, the druid bird, how he became king of the birds, and that story is everywhere. It's a beautiful story how the wren hid under the eagle's wing when all the birds had a competition who could fly the highest, and when the eagle was exhausted, of course, the wren popped out and said, I'm king of the birds, I've flown the highest. So it weaves that together with the tradition that happens in Ireland, parts of England and Wales, called hunting the wren, and that's a very ancient tradition that happens on Boxing Day or St. Stephen's Day. And the reason it happens has been lost in the mists of time, but people can look it up on the internet if they'd like to know more about the tradition of hunting the wren. So this song weaves both those together, and it's called 13 Notes.
Take it away.
When the chill winds blow in and there's flurries of snow, into the woods the wren boys will go. The smallest of birds with feathers of brown, with their bows and their arrows, they hunt the wren down. 13 notes between the winter and the spring. In the holly and hedgerow, hear the druid birds sing. At the coming of Yuletide, the hunt will begin for the wren, the king of the birds. Flushed from the bramble and chased from the gorse, with sticks and with stones he's taken by force. The quest for the wren as he draws his last breath in a bier of ribbon paraded in death. 13 notes between the winter and the spring. In the holly and the hedgerows, hear the druid birds sing. At the coming of Yuletide, the hunt will begin for the wren, the king of the birds. Your time is slipping by, 4 seasons in your song. I'll listen, tiny bard, as you sing all winter long. The pattern that you wove high above the ground, why try to win with strength when there's wisdom to be found? 13 notes between the winter and the spring. In the holly and the hedgerows, hear the druid birds sing. At the coming of Yuletide, the hunt will begin for the wren, the king of the birds, the king of the birds.
Awesome. That's really cool. Now, you had said that you've started to write music that's more connected to the land and the traditions of where you are. So this album is definitely, bespeaking that.
Yeah, there's quite a few songs on there that were written that reflect, like my Seven Sisters, a song about the Seven Sisters. And I know the Seven Sisters, we see them, the Pleiades, you see them from your side, we see them from our side, but it's all reversed. And I love the fact that the stories of the Seven Sisters that go back so long are all so similar in all the cultures, whether it be Greek or Mexican or in Europe or in Asia, here in Australia with our people.
Native American too.
Yeah. They're all the same story of these women running across and being chased by a man. And they all differ a little bit, but they're all very similar. So, and I love at the moment in the sky, in our summer sky at the moment, Orion, we call Orion the saucepan here because it's reversed. So in your land, the handle is pointing down, or his dagger's pointing down. Here in our southern hemisphere, it looks like a saucepan, and his thing's sticking up.
Yeah.
He likes to please the ladies, does Orion. And then when you look over, and in the corner of your eye, wherever you are, you have to catch the seven sisters almost in that peripheral vision. You'll see them. They're like a little tiny cluster of stars looking straight down from the saucepan or Orion. So I love the seven sisters, and I love the fact that wherever we are in the world, we share that sky. We share that sky.
Yeah. I love looking at seven sisters, especially through my little telescope I have. Someday I want to get a bigger one. Yeah. But yeah, it's beautiful. And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's a bunch of stars that are in a cluster formation really close to each other. And they're called the Seven Sisters. Yeah. Yeah. How does Spiral Dance collaborate, as a collective? How does that process happen?
Usually I write, I'll let you talk about your tunes, but usually I will write a song, and most of the time the melody will come with that. And then I take it along to the band. I usually work with the guitarist first, and then Paul will come in and we'll kind of collaborate on whether we're going to have a tune in it, a full tune, or whether he'll write just some small lines to go in it. And then we take it along to the bass player and the drummer. And then after that, we pull in usually the violin and the vocal and the harmony vocals. Yeah. So it's a bit of a step by step, really.
Wow. And you guys don't live together, so that's a whole logistical process as well.
Yeah. But we live close. We live in the hills.
We get together a lot too. Yeah. We're in and out of each other's houses with each other's property all the time.
And we hang out. We're mates. We all hang out.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's nice.
I was going to say from the tunes. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we eat and drink and we break bread a lot together and do things. So it's good. As you know, Alexian, I mean, it's the same when we've been with you and stuff. We tend to sort of be one big sort of happy family. So it's good. Yeah.
You cooked for us.
Hey, and you cook for us, and that bond will never be broken ever now. Yeah. So that's beautiful. But I mean, tune-wise, unlike you again, Alexian. I mean, I know you're very well musically trained, and Berkeley and everything, which is fantastic. My musical training is nothing like that at all. I'm very much a folky, learn from the heart and from the ear, and I can kind of read dots a little bit now, but not sight read, just enough to remind me of things. But tunes, and it's been a strange one again. This is a little bit of the magic of the universe, I think. Tunes come along. I can't make myself sit down and write tunes. They just come along when they come along. But I think it must be something in the subconscious and subliminal that they often come along at the very time that Adrienne's writing a song, and she'll come to rehearsal and say, I've got this song. Here's my basic guitar chords that I think I want it to be a ballad, or I want it to be an up-tempo sort of rocky song, or however. And then she'll say, I don't suppose you've got a tune, have you? And the amount of times it's just been like, oh my goodness, I do. And it's even in the right key for what we're doing. And it just integrates perfectly. And that's happened a dozen times or something.
That's spirit, man. Like there's a process to it. Even me working by myself, sometimes I go into the studio saying, okay, I'm going to record this part today. And I have no plan. And it just happens. It just happens. And I trust my muses, I trust the process, and spirit is guiding us, right? So they're guiding you as well, so that you guys.
Yeah. Click. We've even had experiences when in fact the Quickening is one I'll draw out. Adrienne wrote the Quickening, and it had quite an interesting sort of rhythm and scan to it, and we didn't know quite how we were going to pull the tune together for that. And out of the blue, somebody from the US, who we know, Folky K, sent me a CD of an accordion player, because she thought, oh, Paul like that, he's an accordion player. A guy called Kepa Junquera from the Basque country in Spain. and there was this tune on it, which ended up being kind of his hit, if accordion players have hits, but called Bocca Spock, which means kind of maybe, maybe not. And the tune fitted exactly over the scan of Adrienne's song, and she sent it in the post like exactly when this song was coming together. So there is a power out there that's helping. So it's great. And you, like you say, be open to it. Let the Owen flow.
Yeah,
It's magic, man. I mean, I trained my students in the coven. You know, you have to do the magic, and the magic sets up the opportunities, but then you have to act, right? Or the opportunity will pass you by, but you have to be alert for them. So that's just synchronicity, right? Synchronicity. I call that magic. Yeah.
And there's a braveness to that as well. You have to be brave and like you say, and take the opportunity bull by the horns, as it were, and do it. Yeah.
You just do it. You just do it, and you believe that it'll be okay, and it comes out every time. Every time. So I mean, we've mentioned all these different people and different instruments. How would you say in general has the sound of the band, evolved over time?
I suppose before I joined, there was a guy, an original member of the band. He played some accordion, but he also played some keyboards. And we also had some other stringed instruments, not necessarily just guitar, but other lots of strings and things.
Keyboard,
and some keyboard.
Yeah.
I think the strength of the songwriting from Adrienne has always been there. She's been passionate about strong harmonies and things, which has always been there. But though it's changed for some girl harmonies, then it went to boy harmonies, and now it's coming back with the original members for the girl harmonies, funnily enough. And then I suppose me joining in 2000, the accordion became more and more sort of front and center, I guess. And so that's like had an influence one way or the other, rightly or wrongly, kind of thing. So
Rightly.
Bless you. But I mean and even joining the band was a weird thing. I was sitting in an Adelaide pub that had folk sessions on playing when there was a band playing in their back room. I knew nothing, and the lead singer of said band came out in their interval and heard me playing, and having been in the UK and studied some of the folk traditions there, she just came up to me and said, "You're from England, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You play button accordion like an English person, and there's something about that sound. It's a uniqueness." And she said, "Do you want to join a band?" And that's actually how it happened.
And it helped that we were both Morris dancers as well. That's something shocking that you know about us now. Don't hold us against us. We're both Morris dancers, sticks and hankies and bells.
Love it.
Yeah. So
I've seen photos.
Yeah. So that way of playing for the dance, lifting the dance, is a very English way of playing that accordion. So, and Adrienne recognised it immediately. So I suppose that's shaped the band. But we've had so many other people come through the band, and they all bring their influence and things as well, of course. And then the collaboration, which you mentioned earlier, when we collaborate internally, but externally as well. We've shared experiences with Incubus Succubus from the UK, obviously Dab the Bard from the UK, many people, some of them online here, like Brian Henke, but everybody that we've interacted with, yourself and organisers at festivals and the other acts at those festivals, they all have an influence. We have Celia coming very, very soon to Australia. So, all these things, that add to a sound where you hear an idea and discuss the way that she uses loops and things. We've never really played with that, and we'll see what happens after Celia's been here. Maybe. Maybe we'll say something, and so we're growing forever. We're always learning.
I knew she was coming because I interviewed her on my show in December.
Yeah,
and she mentioned it. Yeah. So let's talk about the English ale, shall we?
Oh gosh, we're having a year off this year because it's just got so big. Really, it started so long ago. When I came back from the UK after living there in 1980, I came back in 1991 from the UK, and I was so fired. I was dancing the Morris then, but I was going to all these amazing kind of events that they have in the UK. You know, there was the bonfires and the flaming tar barrels and world dressings and giant parades. And so I came back to Australia just filled with all these amazing things in my head. And I wanted to create something like that. Hence the English Ale started at a very small level because I had a Morris team. I was in a Morris team. We took them along and we made some hobby horses and we slowly started bringing in things every year. And we always have it on. We have it in May because it celebrates the green coming back after a hot summer. So there's Paul doing some Morris, and it celebrates the green coming back into the land at that time of the year. So also because we have a Jack in the Green, which is a spring custom in the Northern Hemisphere, we had the Jack in the Green because we had this resurgence of new life coming back, but we didn't slay the Jack. We just put him to bed. So we couldn't release the spirit of summer because we were going into our winter. And then a few years down the track, we then had a giant built that was Petal. And then since then it's grown. We now have a dragon. We have a couple of extra giants. We have the Murray Lloyds that come along, and people from all over Australia come to it now. It's grown quite big now. The last one we had 2,500 people there. Wow. In this tiny village of Milo, which is a very English village. And I feel now it has become too big. So we're having a year off to try and reset it a little bit just to take it back. And I still don't know how we'll do that.
Too many grown-up things have happened. It was just fun and us playing. But now when it gets to that size, Alexian, you have to take in, grown-up things like security fencing and public liability and on blah, blah, blah. And so
medic.
It becomes extremely serious and not just a fun little event that's just for a few of our inner circle sort of people to come along to. It's become a huge event that's being nationally advertised and things. So it takes on a completely different amount of energy.
And we won a couple of awards, local council awards, and SA Tourism has backed us for the last couple of years, which has been great. However, that's why it has grown. And we burn a wicker man. We have in the evening, we have this incredible torchlight procession. We have a fabulous team that makes the torches. And then we have a torchlight procession, which is led by Hot for Joe Morris, with all other Morris sides. We have the giants, we have the hobby horses and flaming torches, and the dragons come in, and we process to this bonfire site where we fire a wicker man. And we always have an acknowledgement to country for the Indigenous, because Milo was a meeting place for the Paramanca and the Kaurna people for centuries, a long time ago, before white settlers came in. So and then we fire this wicker man. It's amazing. But last year, getting that many people around the bonfire site was a little bit touch and go. So we have to kind of rethink how we're going to do it.
And it's an enormous amount of energy for Adrienne as well. And so I think a year off just for mental health is probably a good thing.
I've got a great team that work as well. But when you're the director, it's kind of like, oh, stop the world, I want to get off.
Well, it's become something that because of the energy involved, you're not actually having a good time because you're actually working. You're working rather than just enjoying. So
it's okay though.
Yeah,
you're serving your community.
Yeah, that's right.
Again,
and that's it's a beautiful event. It's a lovely event. It's very magical.
If you were Alexian, you should. If you were to come over, it's a good time of year to come over. Yeah.
Definitely keep that in mind. I am going to come over. Damn it. I am going to come over. And if I'm coming, Victor's going to be coming too. Wow. He ain't going to let me go alone.
You can take over my kitchen.
He would love to take over your kitchen. Okay, so where do people go if they want to learn more about your offerings?
Well, I guess the usual places is the answer to that, but we have a website, so spiraldance.com.au. Don't forget the AU. We are in Australia. So that's our site there. So and the usuals from there. We've got particularly Facebook we still use, but we have an Insta and other pages like that. So look us up. We have CDs available from Bandcamp and from CD Baby for downloads and things like that. And you
Spotify
can,
with you?
Spotify, of course, and all those other sort of digital platforms of
All
many
the
names.
socials and the
Yes,
streamings.
all of those things, and probably a little secret: if you were to type a name like Paul at spiraldance.com.au or Adrienne at spiraldance.com.au, it would come to us. Or you could do info@spiraldance.com.au, and that will come to all of us. And so if you have a question or a comment or something like that, you could always reach out to us from an email.
Excellent. So speaking of questions, let's bring Draken back on.
Hello?
Do we have any?
We do, but first a comment. This is from Brian. Anne Marie from Florida Pagan is absolutely correct. You are truly beautiful people.
Thank you.
And I have to tell you, this threw me off because my name is Anna Marie.
You're a
And I was like,
True. That's true.
I'm not in Florida. I'm so confused. I don't remember saying this. It is true. But
Well,
and then I was like, oh, Florida Pagan is a thing.
Well, I just want to let you know, when we've done a couple of FPGs, and Anne-Marie has just, I remember first meeting her of spaghetti and meatballs, and they just spoilt us. And the FPG people, honestly, it got to the point where they were doing everything, making our beds, bringing it in. And I was like, what
yeah, they're amazing.
They're just
Wow.
beautiful, beautiful people. And we would love to go back to FPG because Anne-Marie, Paul, and all the gang, they're just amazing people. So
Yeah.
much love
Yeah.
to you all.
Absolutely
Wonderful.
love Anne Marie and the gang. They are just, again, serving community. They're beautiful, beautiful people.
Yeah. Again, so many people at all the festivals, but their helping group, like there was Kathy who used to look after our room. We couldn't do a thing. We couldn't even make our own beds and things. We're not used to that.
Embarrassing.
So-
It's been embarrassing.
They've
That's
been
wonderful.
wonderful. They've been wonderful to us. Yeah.
All right. And we do got a couple questions. So this is one from earlier. Brian was asking that you guys maybe have all done his song Temple of the Trees.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Temple of the Trees. Brian, it was a while ago now. I can't remember.
But I think that's right.
Yeah,
I remember we just got our new microphone when I think that was the first recording. We used our new SM7 for the recording on that when we sent the tracks over. So I think that's right.
Yeah. And we'll get to meet Brian one day. We almost did connect because we were supposed to come to the second year for the Caldera Fest from the Green album. They were doing a second one, but it didn't happen, sadly. So we missed out on meeting people.
This is the important question. Is there any chance that you'll be able to tour the US in 2027?
It depends who's running your country. We can't come at the moment. We've got a transgender woman in our band.
Good answer.
We would love to come again, right?
Absolutely.
We would love to come again.
Yeah.
However, we can't. I could not walk into that country and feel good about it. sorry. It's just hideous what's happening. I'm not going to say anymore, but we love you all so much, but we just can't come at the moment.
Yeah.
But
Scary.
times are changing,
Yeah.
and we
Hoping for the
will.
best.
As soon as the opportunity is there, we'll jump at the chance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sadly, but that's it.
Yeah.
But we will see you all again.
Yes, looking forward to it. All right. And I think that's it for
That's it?
questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
For questions. Everybody's shy tonight. Okay, Adrienne, it's the part that you've been dreading all evening. It is time for the rapid fire question. So get your pencils and papers ready.
The pressure, Alexian.
The pressure, the pressure. Okay, so here we go. Adrienne, which is more dangerous at a pagan festival? Fire, alcohol, or musicians after midnight? Which is more dangerous at a pagan festival? Fire, alcohol, or musicians after midnight? Paul, if your instrument were sentient and could complain about you, what would it say? If your instrument were sentient and could complain about you, what would it say? Adrienne, if your music accidentally summoned something during a ritual, what do you hope it would not be? If your music accidentally summoned something during a ritual, what do you hope it would not be? And Paul, when was the last time you thought, yes, this is sacred, but also just deeply ridiculous? When was the last time you thought, yes, this is sacred, but also just deeply ridiculous? Time's up.
Okay.
Adrienne, back to you. Which is more dangerous at a pagan festival? Fire, alcohol, or musicians after midnight?
Definitely musicians after midnight, because I've travelled with them.
I hear a story there.
Actually, the most dangerous thing is somebody with a tambourine in the audience after midnight when there's been fire and alcohol involved. They are the most dangerous instrument in the world, a tambourine. They cut through everything, and
that's true.
And if they're perhaps not on the same wavelength as the band at the moment that you're playing, it can be the most off-putting thing you have ever experienced. That's my call on that one.
Can confirm.
That has happened. Yeah.
Oh yeah, tambourine rings over everything, and if they're not playing in beat, woo!
Yeah.
Destroy.
It's clang, clang, clang.
Goes the trolley. Yeah. If your instrument were sentient, Paul, and it could complain about you, what would it say?
Oh, baby, it would say, "Oh, squeeze me a bit more gently, darling."
I don't know if that's a complaint. I think that's a request.
Tickle my buttons more seductively, perhaps. You know, yeah.
You take care of your instrument then.
Most certainly, yes. And I have to say, they're built here locally by a man called Peter Hyde. He's sort of retired from making now. But the first, I have several instruments, because obviously the amount of instruments you need is X+1, where X is the amount you've got at the moment, and you always want another one. But I've got a lot of different accordions by Peter, and the two I play for Spiral Dance, the first was made in 1999. It's been around the world now so many times, and it's still in immaculate condition. It has never missed a beat, and but I do obviously take care of them and make sure that they're clean and tuned to some degree. But it's difficult with accordions. But yes, you have to look after them. They're part of your they're an extension of your body when you're playing them. So of course you look after them. But yes, sometimes in the moment they do get played quite aggressively, and I'm sure if it could speak, it would say, "Whoa, Jess, come! You've got a $1 million sound system out there. You know, amplifying me. You don't have to be hitting me that hard to make."
Oh, I don't know. The way you started, it's probably saying, "Yes, Daddy, I like it hard like that."
Yeah.
Adrienne, if your music accidentally summoned something during a ritual, what do you hope it would not be?
The ghost of my Irish grandmother.
The ghost story?
Because she was like a very, very strict Irish Catholic. And very gutsy woman. She was a gun runner for the IRA in 1920 in Kinsale in Ireland. So yeah, she was a very formidable lady.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Wow.
And Paul, when was the last time you thought, yes, this is sacred, but also just deeply ridiculous?
Thanks for that one, Alexian. I'm so pleased that you've dropped that one on me. The first thing that came to mind, and it's what you have to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
It happened probably 10 or 15 years ago now. It was at a festival, I believe in Queensland, so it would have been out somewhere near Brisbane. And we were playing on stage in a song. It was one of our slow ballady songs where it was very, very, the atmosphere, everybody was really in it. And I had an accordion solo. And so I was completely locked in with my eyes closed, playing this long chords, to really develop the mood. And a guy who we know quite well ran onto the stage in the middle of my solo and kissed me full on the mouth, and I couldn't do a thing about it. So it was a spiritual moment. that made completely absurd. So yes. So Michael, thanks for that. Yeah. Somewhere, Michael. I haven't forgotten.
And just one more time before we wrap it up here, we're moving into the end of the show. Oh my goodness. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Come on. Really?
Yeah, I can understand. He'd want to swap with my life. Absolutely. He would.
I mean, we've never seen you both in the same place, so
I'm saying.
Mhm.
All right. We teased this at the beginning of the show, and I know for one, I'm dying to know the full story. Adrienne,
Yeah.
tell us about your UFO experience as a child.
Yeah, I know. I still looking for answers for that. So I must have been about 7 or 8 years of age, and my parents had a house not far from here in Adelaide, and we came over from New South Wales where my parents had a pub, and we came over for holidays. And my brother had been working at Woomera Rocket Range, and we went to the airport to pick my brother up. It was a Friday evening, and we came home, and Dad drove the car up the driveway, and it was our homes are very similar to yours over there. You know, you've got the garden and they're one story, but in the middle it was a 2-lane street with a medium strip, a grass strip down the middle with a huge peppercorn tree in the middle, and you could see that from our driveway. And as I got out behind my dad's driver's side, I looked up, and I can still see it so clearly. Not far up by this peppercorn tree was this silver shimmering amazing object, and it was like, I can still see it. It was like the moonlight was shining on this incredible silver metal, and it was like this. I can still see it was like a round ball with kind of metal
Like
tapering
ribs,
off,
you
like
said,
ribs,
yeah.
tapering off, about the size of a minibus, and it was just hovering there. And I just went, look! I was just amazed. I ran around. My brother saw it. My mum was getting out the car, and then it went. And it shot behind the peppercorn tree. Just we ran, nothing. And I've been searching ever since for something that looks like that, and I can't find a thing. So I do wonder if it was from this planet, man-made, with knowledge from another planet. I don't know. Mm-hmm. My brother was working at Woomera Rocket Range at the time. He was a computer analyst up there. But it was amazing, and I can still see it, And as a kid, I used to go to sleep every night. Just, what was that? Where did it come from? It was in my head for so many years, and I still got answers for it, because I've never been able to see. I haven't found anything on the internet that looks remotely like what I saw. But it was so bright. It was like moonlight shimmering on bright silver. It was incredible, and it just went gone.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I'm not going to go through the whole story because I've told it before, and I've told it in detail on my email list. If you get on that, you get the whole video of me talking about it. But very similar experience. Looked differently, though. Mine looked like a bullet, flat on one side, and then came to a point, and it was silver, and it was very shiny, and then gone. Yeah. And it was literally like 12 to 15 feet above her head. My sister saw it with me.
Yeah,
and I was a child, and it's in the middle of the day. So
okay, right.
Yeah, in daylight. It wasn't at night, this one. But very similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very similar. Opposite sides of the world. Very similar. Wow. Okay. So the moment you've all been waiting for is finally here. The Arcane Treasures giveaway. And currently, we only have 2 people that have entered. So this is your last chance. Throw that ticker up on the screen, Draken. You must enter Champers, CHAMPERS, to enter the drawing. Hashtag Champers, all one word, no spaces. This is your last chance also for karma points. Good luck, in other words. Spank that like button, ring the bell, and subscribe, and you'll get maybe a little bit of good luck, and maybe you'll win. All right. You've got 1 minute. Here we go. Tell them what they're going to win.
All right. There's going to be 2 Spiral Dance digital MP3 albums. Sometimes I get so upset that I can't enter these. A $25 coupon for paganmusic.com. A free ongoing membership to the Kitten Circle inside Alexian's Cool Cats community. And an Alexian Show limited edition fridge magnet, which
It's all
is
about the magnet.
the pinnacle. Yeah. All right.
All right. So far, we still only have 2 entries, and there are 7 people watching. I guess you guys don't like their music. I don't know. Maybe you already own it.
Yeah.
That's probably
I
what it
feel
is.
like-
They probably already own it.
Or they forgot to hit the like button.
Or they forgot to hit the like button. They might be at the beginning of the show. That's why I always warn people. All right,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Here we go. There is the drawing, and I'm hitting the button now. Here we go. Good luck.
Oh, Steph.
Stephanie wins.
Hey!
Stephanie, for winning today's Arcane Treasures giveaway, please email me directly at lordalexian@gmail.com to claim your treasures. I want to express a huge thank you to our guests, Adrienne and Paul. Thank you so much for your music, your friendship, and the positive magic you direct out into the world. And to our viewers, if you've missed earlier episodes, you can catch all the replays on the channel here. Draken and I will return next month with episode 25 with Sydney Michael. Have a wonderful, fabulous evening, and we'll see you next month. Bost blessings.
Bye.
Now I've just got to let my singers in. They've just arrived, I think.